gotta be at 3:30.
Yep, let's get going.
It's not a good bill to have a 40-minute conversation.
I know. Let's,
Voting list 25, consent.
all right. All right. Is everyone ready to go? We're going to start off with, if you have voting list number 25 on your desk. This is a consent calendar. Can you look through, see if you want to pull anything off of the list? Yes.
These are bills we already voted.
These are all bills that have been voted out of here unanimously.
Well, they were Senate floor unanimous.
Senate floor unanimous,
Same posture.
same posture. So are there votes in here in which there were not unanimous votes for this from the Senate committee? That's what we need to know.
I've got that in my office.
Anyway, do you have the ability to just record everyone's vote in the same way they voted before?
But I think if it's consent, then they need to be.
Quick question, HB 585, this is amended and consistent with the Senate version, correct? Because there was an amendment that our county executive had wanted on this bill.
We changed it in delegation.
Right. I'm just checking to make certain that it was changed. Okay.
House Bill 585 was voted favorable by Judiciary. There are no amendments from Judiciary. And then Senate Bill 432 was voted favorable. Judiciary did not adopt any amendments to the bill, and JPR did not adopt any amendments. No amendments were adopted on the floor. So both bills have no amendments to them.
Were there amendments that were made from the county delegation to them? Because it should be.
Nothing was adopted.
Is it possible, it's on our system?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you looking for? Sounds like you guys did your county executive a solid there.
Yeah, it was.
Is everyone else okay recording your yes vote for the consent calendar? All right. Excellent. All right, so now House Bill 585 is before us. Is everyone okay passing the bill? We can reattach it to the consent calendar, or actually, no, keep it separate so you can amend it on the floor. All right. Okay, passes unanimously.
I think I forwarded.
All right, the next list is voting bill 46, however, all right, we're going to start off with House, yes, 26, sorry, yes. And we're going to start off with House Bill 446. That's Heather.
So this is a local Baltimore County bill. We do have the Baltimore County delegation letter in support of the bill. So this bill alters the distribution of the fee for performing a marriage ceremony in Baltimore County by requiring the clerk of the circuit court to pay the entire amount, $25, to the Baltimore County Historical Trust.
Motion's, it's been seconded. All right, so we have one down, Senator Sidnor is a no, but everyone else is yes. Okay.
And just say.
All right, so we're gonna go to House Bill 785 next.
So, House Bill 785 establishes the Jobs Court pilot program in the district court. Sitting in Baltimore City, the purpose of the pilot program is to reduce recidivism by offering defendants an opportunity to participate in full-time job training and job placement programs as a condition of probation, an alternative to incarceration, or a condition of pretrial release.
We folded it in.
From fiscal 2024 to 2028, the governor must include in the annual state budget an appropriation of at least $500,000 to the Baltimore Workforce Development Board to be distributed to local workforce investment boards or other nonprofit entities that participate in the pilot program by identifying employers and training programs. This is similar to the provisions that were wrapped into a Senate bill that Senate bill, I believe it was 585, included the jobs court provisions, as well as provisions on firearms reporting and notification of release in the case of defendants' pretrial in Baltimore City. This just has the jobs court provisions in it.
Did they change, because we had ours for 1 year, and did they amend it
So
to change it for 5 years?
They provided for the budget funding for the full term of the pilot program.
Which is what, 5 years?
It goes until 2028. So that is,
Page, it's lines 18 through 22.
right. Whoops,
Page
it's on the
2.
wrong bill. Right, so that is until 2028, so it's actually 6 years.
Got it.
Um,
So do we need to adopt? This, it's all been amended.
So, the House ended up passing 585. The dates match up, but there is a difference in that there's an interim report that's required under this version that isn't in that. So to make them match, you would strike out the interim report in this. And then, do you want me to go over the?
Sure, let's just do that first, because I
Okay.
want to make, so if we make the corresponding changes, even though that other bill's wrapped up into kind of an omnibus bill, it'll
Right.
still be fine, like it'll
So-
still pass.
Right, the motion would be to just conform the jobs court provisions in this bill to the jobs court provisions in 585 as passed by the House.
It still works.
Right. As long as they're identical, right, right.
So, I was noticing, 'cause I think, isn't the other part of the bill what's on here in, 441?
Yeah.
So, how does that work, where you have two different House bills that do the same as one omnibus?
As long as the language is the same, it still goes into effect.
Right, as long as there's no divergence in the language of the provisions that are being affected, then they reconcile. I mean, it's still they can go into effect.
So there's another amendment pending, but before we do that, can we just conform to the House? Is everyone okay?
The House Jobs
The
Court.
House Jobs Court? Everyone's okay with that? All right. So, all right, another amendment is coming. So I think the House is going to put this amendment on as well, if we do it, so. Very, very important. Yeah, we're still on the same bill.
I'm not sure if you have it in front of you, but essentially what this would do is it allows the judiciary to transfer $12 million in funds that it sounds like they saved through reduced COVID operations, or reduced operations during COVID, from the general fund into the Circuit Court Real Property Records Improvement Fund. And there's some specific language for that. Provides, I'll just summarize, that notwithstanding provision of the state finance and procurement article or any other provision of law, the amount transferred may not revert to the general fund. So basically, it's taking that 12 million from their operating budget that they saved and putting it into the Land Records Improvement Fund. That would need to be effective, that provision would just need to be effective June 1st, 2022, so that they can do it before the end of the fiscal year.
So look, this is not directly related to the substance of the bill, but it's the best vehicle we've got. Is it okay with everyone? Just gonna get a second? All right, everyone's good? Great. All right. All right, everyone's recorded. Do you have an amendment number for that?
No, but I'll give Sandy the link.
House Bill 53.
House Bill 53 establishes a statewide prohibition against driving a vehicle in a dedicated bus lane unless authorized to do so. The bill also authorizes Baltimore City to use a bus lane monitoring system to record violations of the bill. The maximum fine for a recorded violation would be $100. So the city delegation supported this bill with two amendments, both of which are in your packet. The first one is number 676-713/1. So this amendment would lower the maximum fine for a recorded violation from $100 to $75. And the amendment would also require that for the first 45 days of a camera being operated, that the city issue only warnings instead of citations. And the other amendment is number 586-712/1. And this one provides that if the city contracts out the operation of a camera, they have to issue a competitive request for proposal and apply all relevant procurement preferences for minority and women-owned businesses. No, they're separate amendments. They voted on the bill and both of the amendments.
Can you guys, can the senators in Baltimore City explain to us what what's, yeah?
This is something we already passed.
Did we pass
Are
this?
we,
This
we're on
was,
53, the dedicated bus
Yeah.
lanes, prohibition.
Puts a camera on them.
So this bill is for the dedicated bus lanes to make certain that people aren't stopping within, the dedicated bus lanes, they're kind of colored red. It's to stop them from using them and parking in them and the like. So the way that it was explained to me, because I had a similar question about these cameras on the buses are there to make certain that if people have broken the law and they're either driving in them or they parked in them, that it's almost like one of these red light cameras or something, but it'll take a picture and you'll get fined. So I think with Senator McCrae's, his amendments were to decrease the fees that were noted in the initial bill, and there was a question about procurement issues, which Senator Hayes, his amendment addresses.
Well, that's why we have police. And like traffic police. I mean, that's why you have people to go enforce these things. I mean, you're now adding a new way of putting cameras on and mailing people tickets. You're putting them on buses now. I mean, when's it gonna stop? We're gonna have jaywalkers too they're gonna catch in front of the buses? I mean, jaywalking's a major problem. No, we killed a bunch of other speed camera bills that were quote-unquote local bills.
This is a local bill, the delegation has supported, I'd move favorably.
Oh, so is the Anne Arundel one that we unanimously tanked in here.
all right, well, look, let's at least adopt the amendment so we can talk about the bill. So is everyone okay adopting both amendments? Okay. Okay.
The bus of justice coming down the street.
Is there a motion?
Unfavorable. They already passed what?
Hold on, Senator Kelsey's got a question, go ahead.
So, I mean, normally when we do do these cameras already exist somewhere? Have these been tested? Typically, when we do a new camera system, there's like a pilot program, and we roll it out for a year, and they come back to the General Assembly, see how it's been gone, so then we say, well, this is going well, or it's not going well, here's the changes you need.
It
Is-
actually has something about calibration system in
I'm
there.
s-
Sorry, independent calibration lab should.
No, I'm not talking about independent calibration lab to calibrate the system. It's to say, you receive public complaints, how's this thing going? How much money's coming in? What are the issues? How many public complaints do we have? We have a public hearing. I've never heard of a public bus lane automatic monitoring system before in my life, and has this been tested somewhere in Maryland, and we know how they work and whether they're fair? I mean, we did this for red light cameras and speed cameras and trying to figure out what the bugaboos were. It seems like unless I'm missing something, we're just kind of rolling out a whole new system here that's going to be, boom, it's in law and no questions asked. Do you know?
All right, we're gonna hold this bill, we're gonna table this, we had other important stuff to do, the hour's late, so we're gonna hold this bill until a later time. All right, let's go.
That's the Bartlett bill.
All right, let's go to House Bill 1323.
House Bill 1323 alters an incorrect cross-reference for a provision of law requiring a physician or hospital to provide applicable health care services without charge to a victim of sexual abuse. The change is technical in nature and does not, it's technical in nature.
That's the new,
That was pretty funny.
it's just very technical in nature.
All right, Senator Watson has a question.
Just here, the explanation is that a victim of sexual assault can receive free medical care. That's current law.
In 2018, Chapter 422 established the Victim Services Unit in the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, Youth, and Victim Services. The provisions of existing law were recodified, and there's a cross-reference to the provision that says that the services need to be provided, or provides for the funding and payment of those services for victims of sexual assault. And basically, there was a cross-reference that didn't get translated over. In speaking with some of the advocates on the bill, it doesn't sound like anybody has actually been improperly charged. Any victim of sexual assault had been improperly charged for receiving medical services, but evidently it was a concern that they had.
So this is purely technical?
Right.
Okay, all right.
All right, motions for a favorable. Second. All right, we're done. Thanks. All right, which one was that? Was that? All right, Josh, we're back to House Bill 53. Yeah.
So House Bill 53 establishes a statewide prohibition against driving a vehicle in a dedicated bus lane unless authorized to do so, and authorizes Baltimore City to use a bus lane monitoring camera to record violations of the bill. The maximum fine for a violation would be $100, $75 with the amendment that the delegation supported. The amendments, again, they limit the maximum fine. They require that for the first 45 days the camera is operating, that it issues issues warnings rather than citations, and that if Baltimore contracts out the operation of the cameras, that they apply the relevant procurement preferences for minority and woman-owned businesses.
So here's my problem. I drive down Lombard Street in downtown Baltimore, and I need to make a right turn at Charles Street in order to go to my parking lot. In the entire block on Lombard Street before Charles Street, it's a bus lane. Now, this specifically says that I can use that bus lane for the block before I'm turning right. But if there's a camera, how does the camera know whether I'm parked there or whether I'm in that lane because I'm moving forward to turn right? The camera can't tell whether my car is moving. So my concern is I get a ticket for having parked in the bus lane, but in fact, I'm not parked. I'm going forward to make the right turn at Charles Street. So can someone explain to me how a camera differentiates a car that's parked as opposed to a car that's going to turn right?
I asked that exact same question because that was my concern as well. And I was told that the way that these cameras operate, they're able to distinguish between someone parked versus someone who's moving over, like you said, and making a right-hand turn. I had the same exact concern.
But it didn't work with me. A couple of years ago, they had a camera at Charles Street and Lake Avenue, where I'm permitted to turn right on red, and they gave me a ticket for turning right on red without stopping. And my reaction, and they had a picture of my car, and my reaction was, I always stop. How in the world can this picture show that I turned right on red without stopping? And there was no answer to that. I don't believe the cameras can differentiate whether the car is stopped or whether it's moving.
Yeah, I appreciate the new bus lanes that they've done. I think it's a great thing. I think encouraging bus traffic is an awesome objective. Keeping people out of the bus lanes is a laudable objective. But I just don't appreciate how we're forcing this thing through. I really would have expected the proponents to provide us with a demonstration, bring a bus by and let us ride on the bus or something to say, this is brand-new technology, none of you have ever seen this. It's going to be issued out to people all over the state because, say, well, it only applies to Baltimore City. Well, that's like, well, you know, it only applies to the lobby of this building, not to your office. Yeah, but I got to come through the lobby 2 or 3 times a day. Yeah, but that's not your part of the building. Well, so I just don't appreciate that we're not kind of being brought into the bigger picture here. And maybe this is wonderful, maybe this is great technology, but somebody should have given us the time. You know, I remember when Senator Kagan wanted to do a new technology here, and she brought the experts in. We had the top experts in the state. They had demonstrations for us, offered to let us use it. And I just think that if you're going to do something like this with a new technology that's going to impact everybody going to the aquarium, Inner Harbor, Orioles Stadium, Ravens Stadium, the you know, all the other things downtown, that we really, it's not really a local law, quite frankly. And we really owe it to the citizens to make sure that we got this right, because we all know it wasn't that long ago that the city got it majorly wrong with their red light camera program, and that was a serious setback. So I just, for one, am hesitant to jump onto a technology that I know nothing about, the reliability, the issues, the challenges, the problems. I don't think this is a way to do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just in response to the senator's concerns, I reached out to the sponsor of the legislation. She said these are not new cameras. The technology, the cameras are being used worldwide. And in terms of a demonstration, I will say that Delegate Lewis last fall had invited a number of people out to see exactly how this technology and how it was supposed to work. So the delegate has taken an extraordinary amount of time working on this and trying to demonstrate how this was supposed to work. So I believe Senator Carter had moved the bill earlier. So I would certainly appreciate us being able to vote on this.
So my question is for Council Josh, and I think when you started out the actual instructions and the description of the bill, did I hear you say that this was a new statewide law?
Correct. The prohibition on driving an unauthorized vehicle in a dedicated bus lane is statewide. So to the extent that other jurisdictions have dedicated bus lanes, the prohibition applies statewide.
So I'm all about local courtesy, but I think everybody should pay attention to what was just said here. This is a statewide law, that what we're doing, right? This is a new statewide law. The camera part of this is a local courtesy, right? So, so I think that we don't put the whole thing together under local courtesy. If it's a new statewide law, right, then we address that. We address the cameras differently under local courtesy. That's just my opinion.
I'm reading part of the bill, it's on pages 7, 8, 9, that talks about what Baltimore City has to do with the monitoring system and what requirements or what criteria the monitoring system has to incorporate. I see nothing here that requires the monitoring system to be able to differentiate between a car that's parked and a car that's moving. I don't see it. And at the very least, I would like someone from the city who knows about this system to come, to stand here or come on video and explain to us how the monitoring system differentiates between a sitting car that's parked illegally and a car that's moving and about to turn right at the next intersection.
All right. There's been a motion and seconded. Will it?
Can I offer a quick amendment on the thing? Sure. I know you want to roll it and all that. can I just, it's a common sense amendment. You should at least do a sunset on this. At least force people to come back, 2026 sunset, at least force them to come back and vote on this again. That's all, I'm gonna vote against the bill, but you should at least sunset it.
Seconded, so I'm pausing that so we can reconsider yours. Senator Sidnor, Senator Carter, thoughts?
On the amendment, I'm offering amendment just to sunset it.
To what? For how
It's
long?
2026, 4 years. Somebody gotta come back and look at it again.
Will you vote for it, or you still gonna not vote for it? So I don't think that's gonna change the outcome of the vote, so I'm gonna say no.
You're gonna have 6 votes one way or the other, what does it matter? But you wanna sunset it. This thing could be a total debacle. All your constituents could be getting ripped off left and right. Don't you wanna come back and at least look at it 4 years later and decide if it's a good idea or not?
I mean, if it won't, what do you,
I just think it's fair. You should come back and look at these things.
I'm gonna check with the sponsor. And the only reason, so I don't actually agree with that when we do that, when we say like, we're gonna check with this person, but since this sponsor put so much work in it, and it's a result of a 19-year study apparently, I just think before I agree to that.
Alright.
No, you know what, I'm,
I'll tell you why the reason. If you look at of all things, the city is the one that had the problems with red light cameras. And these,
Prepare for an amendment.
I don't wanna, I wanna offer it here. I think it's fair. You know, and these companies, they like rip people off. You got these big companies that do it. They want money. The city wants money. There's a profit incentive. For somebody should just come back and look and make sure this thing's working. You had red light camera programs and people that were found to be systematically systematically racist. Like the whole program in the city got knocked down. That it was like, that was put in black neighborhoods and it was like ripping people off. You had a major scandal with cameras in the city. Why wouldn't you want to just come back in 4 years and look at it? It doesn't hurt anything.
Alright, so Jill and Charles need feedback.
Why do we need feedback? We're the Senate.
I'm
Just
gonna
do
say
it.
no, because that's not how the bill came in.
Another senator what they want.
It's a delegation bill, that's favorable. So, again, because of all of the work and efforts and multiple stakeholders that have gone into it, I would ask that we reject the amendment and just vote the bill.
Okay, we're rolling, we're just doing a roll call.
Vice Chair Waldstreicher.
Yes.
Senator Lee.
Can you just come
This
back?
amendment did not get on.
Can you come
The
back
amendments were
to
from
me?
the
Okay.
delegation.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Come back to me in just a minute.
Senator Castley.
No.
Senator Heddleman.
Yes.
Senator West.
No, and just to explain it in a single sentence, this is yet another nail in the coffin of the center city Baltimore being the center of the business in the state. Businesses are going to move out because of things like this.
Senator Sidnor.
Yes.
Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Bailey.
No.
Senator Carter.
Yes.
Senator Huff.
No.
Senator Lee.
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. All right, bill passes favorably with amendments. Yes, sir.
Baltimore County Orphans Court bill, I think the amendments, they've been found, so if possible, I don't know how soon we're gonna be leaving, but
To get to, let's do House Bill 817, and then we've got a bunch of, then we've got a couple concur, not concurs. Who's, just can you explain it and then we can?
Sure.
Do you want to speak on it, or I think we just roll it, I mean, it's up to you. but-
No, let's just roll it. I'll just make the motion.
Got it, yeah, it is. Got it.
So,
Let me make it because my delegate. Go. Go ahead.
So this bill prohibits a conviction under Section 4509 of the Family Law Article for a violation of an interim, temporary, or final domestic violence protective order from merging with a conviction for any other crime based on the act establishing the violation. A sentence imposed under 4509 may not be may be imposed separate from and consecutive to or concurrent with the sentence for any crime based on the act establishing the violation under 4509. So I'll hand that over to Senator
It's an
Walsh.
important bill, so please pay attention real quick.
Yep, important bill and a good bill, and I would make a favorable motion.
It's been favorable to the Vice Chair, seconded by the Senator from Frederick. Is everyone okay? Everyone's good. All right, the bill passes unanimously. There you go. All right, can you all listen? We've got a couple more minutes. I need you guys to hang tight just for a couple more minutes, please.
Okay,
All
so
right.
these are two bills that are identical as passed by the Senate, but they were not unanimous on the Senate floor. So the first one is House Bill 208. This was the court's payment for jury service bill. I believe this was Senator Carter's bill here. This was 38-8 on the Senate floor,
What? That's right.
but it's an identical format.
Fastly and 7 lemmings.
It was unanimous in committee. It was unanimous in, the committee vote was unanimous, so if somebody.
I don't know what, I shouldn't have said.
Wait, all right, do you all want to, what's your pleasure here? All right, motion's favorable, everyone it's unanimous. Everyone is unanimous.
All right, and then the other one is House Bill 519. This is Circuit Court Clerk's salary increase. So on the Senate floor, this was 41-4. It is identical as the Senate bill.
No, it was a.
So the cross-file Senate Bill 74 is unanimous in JPR.
Motion favorable, second, everyone's good.
Or do you want to do the concur not concur, since we've not received our, well, we've got, do you want to do this? Well, yeah, you want to do 83? House Bill 83, Jamie?
So this is a concur, not concur, for the age of marriage bill. The recommendation, to be consistent with your previous vote, for the Senate bill would be to not concur. So this, and then you could appoint the same individuals for the conference committee.
It's been seconded, the not concur has been seconded. We've already appointed, I already appointed conferees, didn't I?
It was, I think it was,
Yeah, but why do we need to do it again?
Because this is the House version.
So you need both, okay, but they're both gonna need 7 to 7. Yeah, it was Carter, Huff.
No. I tried to get Sarah on, and she said no emphatically. It was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And we tried to get,
Okay, it was.
no,
Smith,
she didn't
Carter,
wanna do
and
it.
Huff.
Yeah. Same conference. All right, what's next?
Do you want to do 153?
Which one is
This
that?
Repeal of spousal defense. We have this bill, hate crime civil remedy as well, and then 357 is vulnerable adults.
So, what about Senate Bill 17? All right, good.
So Senate Bill 17, this was the judicial training bill. The House adopted 5 different amendments. The first one is technical. The second amendment, it applies the provisions of the bill to magistrates and requires the judiciary to update their training as appropriate. So it's not just judges, it's judges and magistrates for the training. Amendment number 3 alters the contents of the required training. Amendment 4 strikes provisions related to the qualifications of individuals and organizations providing the training. And lastly, Amendment 5 strikes provisions relating to additional training requirements and provisions that require the reporting of non-compliant judges to the Commission on Judicial Disabilities. It would be concur.
The motion's to concur, and that's been seconded. Everyone's okay. All right, great.
153, 357, 471. These three are the ones that were left.
Let's go with, is it 71? Senate Bill 71.
Hate crime, civil remedy.
That's me.
Heather.
So Senate Bill 71, which was the hate crime civil remedy bill, the House amended it back to its original format. So this was, the bill now is saying that a person who is the victim of an act that would constitute a violation of the hate crime subtitle may bring a civil action against the person or persons who committed the act. And then also it alters the damages portion. So JPR had amended it to damages awarded, maybe up to 3 times the amount of actual damages, and then the House amended it back to maybe equal to 3 times the amount of actual damages. So the motion is either concur or not concur.
Damages have to be. We don't do that anywhere. I move not to concur. I thought we had good changes.
Good.
Yeah.
Our bill was like narrowly tailored and like made sense.
Right now. Thanks.
We'll do not concur.
Why did they do that? Why would they just not take our amendments? Ours were good.
All right, so who do you want to be on
So
the conference?
let's
committee?
hold on appointing the conference committee at the moment.
Okay.
All right.
So 357, it alters the membership of the work group by striking the General Assembly members, changes the reporting date. So the report's due June 1st, 2023 instead of December 1st of this year. And then it also makes a technical correction for the sunset date. So the motion is either concur or not concur. Senate Bill 357.
That means nothing to me.
So this is Adult Protective Services Work Group to Study Best Practices for Vulnerable Adult Registry in Maryland.
Oh, this was the one that was like overly broad and all messed up. We fixed it, didn't we? Was this Benson's bill?
Senator Benson's bill, correct. So they altered the membership of the task force to remove the General Assembly members. I believe
that.
because it's an election year. It also made a technical correction for the sunset date. 'Cause it's effective for 2 years, not 1 year. And then it alters the reporting deadline.
Concur.
All right, motion to concur. All right, we are 6 minutes late over time, so try to push as much as fast as we could. We're gonna just call it here, give them a call to go back to the floor, so. We will vote several times tomorrow, so, let's go back to the floor.